Hey everybody, welcome to Sad Panda Presents. This is music where we talk about some different...
Oh my god, what is the fuck wrong with you?
Fuck it, this is a podcast that we talk about music and we go through some different albums we're listening to. Right now we are off the list and we are talking about Portugal the Man. Fair warning, sometimes we drink and say offensive shit. I'm Andrew.
And I'm Shane.
What's up, Bubba? How's it going?
Nothing. We are live in studio together. This is
a rare occurrence.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Never play you cook.
I like to smell it.
So yeah, not a lot of man. I went down a weird rabbit hole today. It really fucked me up. I listened to the Experience Grind guys today.
Yeah.
And
I did too. The latest episode about Tag. Yeah. I did too.
Not what I expected, but cool.
Yeah.
And they were talking about anime and weird kind of psychedelic stuff. And one movie I remember watching about that was this anime called Paprika. And it was like this company develops a machine that can warp your dreams, but somebody steals it, and they have to this detective gets put in the machine and he has to go through this dream world, and there's the paprika is the guide through the dream world, and it's real surrealistic and stuff.
That sounds really fucking familiar. I don't know if I've seen that or if I've just read a synopsis and thought that it sounded interesting, but it sounds really goddamn.
It's a good movie and it's very visually stunning. But as I was looking up, I could rent it, but I was like, fuck it, I don't rent that. So, but I was on YouTube and I found a review about the same director. He did a movie called Perfect Blue.
Okay.
And in that, it's this girl who is a pop star, and she wants to become a movie star. And then she starts to kind of lose touch with reality, and all these things happen, and she kind of loses herself, and she has a stalker, and she kind of, it blends the reality and fake world.
Okay.
And they talked about that, people having avatars and that kind of thought process of on Facebook, you're not really you, and you're trying to make the most idealistic version of yourself and put it out, and that's kind of what they deal with is this, and they have talked about fans, who do that with celebrities. People think they know people, but they don't know the true person. They know them in their own mind.
Right.
And, he said something about, that movie related to, there was a guy in 96 who was really into Bjork, and he wanted to kill himself. He had a lot of mental health issues, and he wanted to kill himself. But what he wanted to do was, he wanted to send a package to Bjork, and in that package was this book, and inside the book, it was a hollowed out book, and inside when you opened it up, it shot out, sulfuric acid.
Okay.
And so he builds this thing, and I was like, what the fuck? So I was like, I had no idea about this. And so I watched it, and what he did was he recorded himself on a camcorder for a whole year getting ready to do this.
Okay.
And he had these tangents and stuff about him, getting prepared and why he's doing it and all this crazy shit. But they have the whole fucking interview tapes on YouTube, and it's an hour and 45 minutes of this dude talking about he's in love with Bjork, but he puts her on a halo effect, on a pedestal. And, he's well, she's sleeping and she's gonna marry some black dude, and they're worse than cockroaches and all this crazy stuff, and super, super racist stuff. And that's why he wants to kill her, cause she did something that was so what felt to him was just fucked up. And so in this video, it shows him building it. He sends it off. He he does a bunch of tests on this exploding thing, and he actually nails it. And then at the end, he ends up buying a gun and he fucking kills himself. It doesn't show him shoot himself. They edit that one bit out, but there's him with the gun in his mouth, and he's playing a Bjork song, and then it cuts, and he's and then he shot himself. And then it cuts back, and there's nothing on the screen. It's just his apartment where he was.
Jesus.
So yeah, it was a weird day for me.
Yeah, that's some fucked up shit.
It's fucking wild, dude. It was really, I was after about an hour, I was like, why am I still watching it? Like I couldn't look away. It was so like weird to get into somebody's head. It was kind of like, you ever see Joker where they really got into his head? You know what I mean? And like the derangements of him.
Right. Yeah.
It was like that, but like real life. It was fucking wild, dude.
Yeah. That's something else.
And so I started watching Avatar after that. I had to fucking, okay, I need to watch something a little lighter.
Yeah. No, I had a much less weird day. I just drove down from San Angelo, so that was it. Found out that I have a pet peeve with people that work at gas stations, because every time I bought a canned drink, like an energy drink or something, they just put their hands all over the goddamn thing when they check it out. And with today's pandemic and shit, like you're all worried about germs and shit. I'm like, can you not like just put your hands all over where my mouth's gonna be?
You just want to spit in my mouth right now?
Yeah.
Do you like, give me $5 or do I give you $5?
So yeah, I mean, I got hand sanitizer in the truck and stuff, and I'm wiping shit down, but I'm just like, oh well, now there's a new fucking germophobia for me. I also was just listening to a bunch of shit. Like, I mean, I listened to the Satanic Satanist, which is the album that we originally decided we were going to talk about. Mm-hmm. And, also listened to, Censored Colors again and Church Mouth. Those were the 3 albums I actually went through today. Then I love Portugal, but after listening to like 3 albums and then I listened to the Experience Grind podcast, I was like, I'm going to play some different stuff. Mm-hmm. Well, I came across this band a long time ago, and I saw it in my Spotify of like different artists and stuff that I had saved one of their songs, and it's a band called Pigeons Playing Ping Pong.
Pigeons Playing Ping Pong.
Yeah. You ever heard of them?
Mm-mm.
Okay. So I played the song that I saved, and it was like an instrumental funk song.
Okay.
But it was a good song. And, I was like, okay, I'm gonna dive a little deeper into this band. And it's not all instrumental, but it is all funk. They're a funk band. And so they're very, and I just hit shuffle on Spotify for the whole artist. So I don't know, I didn't listen to any specific album. I just listened to a amalgamation of different songs, for like the last like hour and a half of my drive. And so it's kind of hit and miss. They've got some really good stuff and they've got some not so good stuff, but they have a couple of songs that are, like, their instrumentals are pretty good. Their bassist is good shit.
Killer.
Dude, he's a great funk bass player. Like, fucking on point. So they're pretty good. Check them out. The singer is not my favorite. Some songs he really works. And others, I feel like he's just not all of the songs they do. I don't know if it's the wrong key. Like he's just not singing in a key that works for his voice or what, but some of the stuff was kind of, like I said, hit and miss. Or maybe it's just the songwriting. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But they have a song called FU and, it's the main tagline is, all I want to do is FU in K. So it turns into funk. Oh dude, it's really good. And I didn't look up the lyrics or anything to see what the song was about. He just wants to get funky, I guess. But I think he's also obviously talking about, so it might be a fuck you breakup song, but it might not be. I don't really recall. Mm-hmm. That was one of the highlights though. I thought that was a really fun song that they had lyrics on. So yeah, Pigeons Playing Ping Pong. Interesting band. Interesting funk band. I thoroughly enjoyed my time with it.
Mm. You know what? About a month ago, Megaran was having a live,
like he live streamed a show.
Yeah. And so they didn't have, I guess he sold out of normal tickets, but for $30, I got like an EP and a t-shirt.
Oh,
so
okay.
that came in a couple of days ago, about a week ago or so.
Fucking A.
So that was pretty fun. I forgot that I did that and I was getting 10. I got a package with oh, hey!
Oh, I also saw, I also saw, I know this doesn't work because it's not a visual medium, but, I also saw the, window sticker on somebody's truck on the back of their, car or truck or whatever they're driving. I don't remember. That was the same as the shirt that I'm currently wearing.
Yeah.
So I thought that was fun.
A bear and a deer. It's a deer.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so it's a dumb shirt that my mom got me for Christmas one year, and I was like, yeah.
That'll work.
Yeah. I'll wear this.
That'll play.
Yeah. So.
Oh man. Speaking of, before all this happened, I was driving my parents somewhere and, we saw somebody that had that sticker and it was, you know how they had like the stick figure family?
Oh yeah.
Remember the one with the coat hangers you talked about? I saw that on a car and I had to explain to my parents what that meant and they were like, oh, that is dark. She was like, why is there coat hangers? It's like, you don't want to know. My mom's like, no, I do want to know. I was like, you really don't want to know? You really don't want to know?
That's pretty good.
Oh man. Yeah, so that was a fun afternoon. It got real quiet after. I just turned up the radio for a little bit.
Yeah. So, and like the reason I came down is just, well, it's Memorial Day weekend.
No, is this
not to date the show or anything, but I got Monday off, so I just went ahead and took Friday off. Also, so I could have a 4-day weekend and come down here because I haven't seen my parents in like 6 months. So yeah, like I was just like, I just want to fucking see my parents. But, I also recently, picked up in San Angelo, I found a screaming deal on a guitar amp. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, I don't need it because I have the big brother of the amp already. But I screenshot it and took a picture for my brother and I was like, hey, this is a pretty good deal. And this is the kind of amp that you like. You want to go look at it? And he was like, fuck, that is a good deal. Yes, go look at it. So I went and looked at it. It worked perfectly. The guy didn't have one of the accessories. And so I got him to knock $50 off and brought him down. And so I picked up a fucking, if you know anything about guitar amps, I picked up a PV 5150 combo, like the PV, not the Van Halen, branded one. I mean, it's still a Van Halen amp. Like, but before Van Halen made his own brand, he worked with this other company and, picked it up for $350 and those like normally sell for like $600 to $800.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and I have the big brother of it. So this is a 60 watt 212 combo and I have the 120 watt head that sits on a half stack, which is a 4 12-inch speakers, that I got from my brother, like, over a decade ago. So I thought about just trading him, cause I don't fucking need a half stack, but I was like, fuck it, whatever. Cause he doesn't want the half stack anyway, so that was cool. I found him a screaming fucking deal, that was basically like half off. Like, dude, music gear right now. God, I wish I had more money. Like,
really?
Dude, the pandemic's bad. I get that. But holy shit, you can find some good deals. People have gotten laid off and they're just like selling off all their shit and, dude, you can find some really fucking good deals right now. So I found that and, like the guy wasn't out of work or anything. He's like, I can't play it. I live in an apartment and this thing is loud as fucking loud. So I rolled that thing into my house, after I picked it up and, played on it for about 20-30 minutes just to, like, I tested it out and stuff when I met up with the guy, but I played on it for like 20-30 minutes just to, make double sure. And, I'm sure that, and everybody was home, so I'm sure everybody was just like, oh, Jesus Christ. So I rolled that out today. I'm going to be rolling its bigger brother in when I get home because I'm taking it home with me tonight because it's been at my parents' house. And so I'm sure as soon as I roll that thing in, they're just going to roll their fucking eyes and be like, God damn it. Another fucking one. Another fucking one. Yeah. So I'm working on building my wall of sound. Because I'm going to have a lot of fucking music gear. I've already got like 10 goddamn guitars in that house and like 3 amps. So I'm about to have 2 more because I got 2 at my parents' house that I'm taking with me.
Jesus.
So I'm gonna have like 5 amps and like 10 guitars and yeah, I love my life.
Fuck yeah, man. Oh, fucking A. Well, like you said, we were gonna talk about, well, we can specifically talk about Satanic Satanists, but we can go through kind of Portugal the Man all together.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Like, I think looking at Satanic Satanists, I mean, it's one of my favorite albums. That and Censored Colors are probably like my top 2. Probably because those are the ones I got most familiar with when I learned about Portugal.
Yeah.
But I mean, Church Mouth is good. Evil Friends is really good. I know you're not super familiar with Evil Friends because it's one of their newer ones, 2013, but still, for Portugal.
Yeah.
But I know I'm not familiar with like Vultures, and you are, so.
Yeah, Wait Are You Vultures? Yeah, so do you remember how you got into them?
Man, it was either you or Caleb. I think you got me into Portugal, and I think Caleb got me into Black Keys. I think the way it happened was you tried to get me into Black Keys, and it just didn't take the first time, even though I don't know why it wouldn't.
That's weird.
But I think maybe you showed me a song or two, and I was just like, oh yeah, I'll remember this, and then I forgot kind of thing. And then,
what, Brothers came out?
And then Brothers came out, and then I think I heard Tighten Up, obviously, everywhere, and I was like, oh, this is really good. And then I think, Caleb was like playing it one day, like the whole album.
Yeah.
But I want to say Portugal, I want to say I was riding around with you, either around the time I lived in College Station or when I was living in Houston. I want to say I came down and like spent the weekend, like we spent the weekend at like the lake house or something.
Uh-huh.
And you played like Censored Colors or something, or you just put on a bunch of Portugal, and I want to say that's how I got into it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Cause I remember my brother bought the Wait Are You Vultures album in like 2007. And it was like one of those albums that was on fucking constantly in the house. Like between him and my roommate Jamil and I. That was like that and, God, what was that fucking, oh my God, T-Band, Chiodos. Like them and Chiodos were always fucking on like rotation. And I love Wait Are You Vultures. Like, Marching with Six is probably one of my favorite songs from them. Okay. But that album is a little different. Like, it's more kind of emo-y. Okay. Like fun, kind of jam emo-y. But then they kind of blended, and then from there they went to Church Mouth, and then Censored Colors, and then you get into the more of their kind of psychedelic rock. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? That, I guess you could call it that.
Yeah, I mean, I would still place it firmly in like alt-rock territory. Yeah. But yeah, I think Censored Colors leads into it, and then, Satanic Satanist runs with it.
For sure. And, yeah, they get really, really, and they get really jam bandy. Yeah. Like, I've seen a lot of videos of them, and what they do is they get real, like, they get heavy into just kind of going off and just jamming for, the songs and stuff like that. Yeah, and honestly, when I brought up doing Portugal, you were down, and you told me to pick an album, and I know I was between Censored Colors and Satanic Satanist because those are the two I'm most familiar with. I probably like Censored Colors a little bit more. But Satanic Satanist has the only song I ever actually learned how to play. I was gonna say, didn't you play? I thought you learned a song.
People say?
Okay. Yeah. I didn't remember if it was that one or if it was, Lay Me Back Down, but I remember we went to, when you were living in College Station, we went and played somewhere, and you played, I showed up at a bar and you were playing and you played that song.
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't remember, but I did learn People Say. I haven't played it in a long time because it's not my usual MO. Yeah. But yeah, that song struck me, and so I learned it. But Censored Colors, I probably like those songs more. Mm-hmm. That being said, I don't really think there's a bad song on this album.
There's not a bad, I mean, there's some that are less good. Like, like Let You Down and kind of Everyone Is Golden kind of, and Guns N' Dogs I'm not a huge fan of.
I really like Guns N' Dogs. Let You Down Spoilers is probably on probably my peace song for the album, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, it's real slow and kind of melodic. Yeah. And it just kind of.
But I do really like Guns N' Dogs. There's some really good stuff here. Obviously People Say. Yeah. The Woods, I think is a really good song.
I think The Sun, The Home, and The Woods, those the 3-song stretch. Yeah. I think that's the coolest part because they kind of all flow together. Yeah. And they have a lot of like experimental, like psychedelic stuff, and also Lovers in Love too. Yeah. Lovers in Love is pretty.
And I think Censored Colors though flows together really well. Cause I listened to that album too today, and that album, man, it's hard to tell where the song breaks are.
Yeah. That's how, which one? I think, Churchmouth does that pretty well too.
Yeah, I think Censored Colors does it.
I think it
more
does,
so.
yeah, it does it better. But
Like, I think they did it very intentionally on Censored Colors.
for sure. But I like the Sun, the Home, and the Woods. Yeah. I like those 3 songs back to back because they all kind of have the same, it's kind of like what they do, like a theme.
Okay.
Like it's kind of like all the themes are kind of like Thoreauian and they use nature as an escape and,
good Mushroom Trip songs.
Yeah, for sure. And, that's all kind of that getting in touch with nature and getting away from people. My home is the woods or whatever and all that shit. I will make my home here. Yeah. But, that's fun. And then Work All Day. I mean, as far as
Work All Day.
Yeah, no. I'm just looking at my notes and kind of just going through the different songs. And for the most part, there's not a lot of like depth. When I was reading the lyrics, there wasn't a lot of depth to it. They're pretty straightforward in what they're trying to say.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I would agree with that statement. They're very straightforward is a good way of putting it. Like, they say what they mean.
Yeah, there's not a lot of like...
You don't need to read into these songs.
Yeah, but I don't think that's but that's not what they're going for, I think.
I don't think that's their MO anyway, but, I think they're very straightforward. I don't know. I guess we've kind of gone through some highlights and lowlights, but,
So, there is one, there are a couple songs I want to talk about just because they have interesting ideas. The first one, I do like, People Say, and it's kind of, it was kind of, cause this came out in 2009, and People Say is more about like, it's about war, but it's about people who aren't in war. And then that line, we may have lost 1 million men, but we've got 1 million more.
Right.
That's kind of those people who are...
You're very detached
from the actual fighting and things like that. But, Yeah.
So it's all the people that are at home, like, working in factories and shit like that, and like...
Maybe like generals and like I was thinking more of the top officials, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess the point of view they're saying, I guess that's true. Yeah.
Or I think really what it was is it was talking about Iraq.
Probably.
And they were kind of talking about that, about how...
Yeah, cause that's about that time. Yeah.
I think that was the real...
But I mean, you can fucking apply it to, like 3/4 of American history.
True.
Like, we've been in war,
all the time.
like 3/4 of the fucking history of the U.S. We've been at war. Like,
even with each other.
Yeah, including with each other. So I don't know. Yeah, I think I don't think they're super, political in anything they say. I mean, that has somewhat of a political message, but,
no, they're not really political. They're more, they want to just kind of get everybody in touch with like, that hippie shit of, we're all one community, loving, that's the way to be. Like,
hence Lovers in Love.
Lovers in Love is actually about, losing love. And like the line is something along the lines of basically don't, and if you don't get your love back, don't go crazy. It's basically, if there's a breakup, don't lose your fucking mind.
Yeah.
Don't act like an asshole.
Well, so one of the things that attracts me to Portugal, is the fact that they do a bunch of conceptual shit throughout their albums. And they also use music interestingly. And I mean, I say that like they'll do some interesting breaks or some interesting interludes or bridges or whatever, but more than that, and this is probably something that we've touched on with other bands, but they're afraid of bringing in like weird shit. Like I don't remember if it's this album or Censored Colors, but I noticed an organ like in a couple of songs.
Yeah, that is John Gourley, 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 the lead singer. He's actually
okay.
He does that. They do a lot of organs and there's a lot of synth heavy stuff and And researching this band, there are a lot of fucking people in this band.
Oh, really?
A lot of people come and go.
Well, as you know, I don't really research, so tell me about it.
Yeah, so, I was just looking it up and they had like a whole timeline of people who came in. So on this particular album, Garrett Lunsford was the drummer, but he actually this is the only time he plays in this album. Cause in the other two before this one, it was a different guy. Okay. And they just have a lot of people just cycling in and out.
You know, man, I think I honestly think that's a good way to keep a band fresh. Cause this is a band that's been around for a long time, like probably 20 years.
Their first one was 95.
So
15 years. Yeah.
Yeah. So they've been around. Yeah. Okay. So 15 years. Mm-hmm. And I mean, like, why not? You know, like, cause I mean, you have, okay, take fucking some pretty fucking well-known bands like Metallica or Guns N' Roses. And it's like the same people, but they break up and they fucking get back together and they have reunions and like blah, blah, blah. But like stylistically, they don't change.
Saint Anger.
Fine. But what I guess what I mean is like,
no, I see what you're saying is that they have a certain sound and they keep it that way.
Right.
And we're back.
So, behind the curtain, we took a little break. Not sure where we're at. So,
okay. So, go ahead.
We can go to like top threes or something.
We can do that. Okay. Let's see.
Or we can go into like P songs.
Yeah, for the most part.
I think we covered that, but
yeah, we can wax about it a little more. That's fine. So Let You Down is definitely, I like the concept, which is fun, because I don't quite understand what they're talking about.
Okay.
And from what I kind of just reading the lyrics and stuff, it makes me think like what they're saying is it's kind of like God's perspective on people. Because I will only let you down, and that's kind of the theme is that trusting in me, I'm only going to let you down, so don't, and watch the world go away and things like that. So I don't know if it's like a relationship thing or if it's like a higher power thing, because they do talk a lot about, like they do have a bunch of stuff with like religion and morality and things like that. Like especially with like Guns and Dogs. That's kind of like a cultist compound song.
Yeah.
And then Do You, it's talking about like herd morality and like basically are we moral enough to go in that direction? So I'm assuming it's something in that vein.
Probably. I read it more shallow as just more relationship kind of stuff. But I didn't really read into it, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's probably in my P songs.
Not a huge fan of Everyone Is Golden.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's fine. It's too like bubblegummy.
Yeah.
You know, like the tone, and it's really light and kind of
yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. Mm-hmm. Other than that,
I mean, beyond that, there's not too, I mean, that's pretty much it for the most part. The Let You Down definitely is my P song, which sucks because that's the bad way to end a fucking album with a P song, you know?
I mean, yeah, but whatever, you know, like, they had a good run through the middle of that album.
For sure. Now you want to do top three. Now here's where it gets tricky for me.
Yeah, this album made it difficult for me to put together a top three. Probably.
I need to start with number 3. Let's do that.
Yeah.
I know, it's really hard. I usually have this prepared in advance, but.
Yeah, me too. And I didn't. Probably Guns N' Dogs. Gonna be my 3. I know it's not really a great song for you. I don't know, something about it I just like this song. I don't know. The way the music is.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah, it's, took a trip down in 87. Yeah. So that one, it's like, for me, it feels like a David Koreshi Jonestown feel. Like, we got some guns, we got some dogs. It's talking about, I don't know, like a religious compound, if you will. Like,
probably.
And so
I never read too deep into it.
Yeah,
I just thought it was fun.
Yeah, it's alright. Okay, so my number 3, I'm gonna have to go with, Lovers in Love.
Okay.
I just like the dizzy sound that it is, that, and it's really fun and upbeat, but like, it's not fun. I mean, it's lighter.
Yeah, but it also kind of hits the psychedelic notes.
Yeah, and that's what I kind of really dig is that psychedelic sound that they push through.
Yeah, yeah, it definitely does. For me, that's what The Woods kind of does for me.
Okay.
And that's gonna end up being like my number 2,
mm-hmm.
I think.
Yeah. The Woods, yeah.
It's kind of, yeah. Work All Day could probably work its way in somewhere around 3 or 2 too.
Yeah.
So I'll put that at 4. But like, yeah, the Woods, that psychedelic vibe hit me with that one.
For sure. And I do like the Wood. Man, I'm going to have to make a cop out because what I'm going to say is I'm going to put The Sun, The Home, and The Woods as one song.
Okay.
But I'll make that my top 2 and 1.
I think that's
that
fair.
whole stretch is just, The Sun's really fun. Like, slip on back to that sun. And then like using nature as like an escape from like, you know, and then connecting everybody is like, we are all one. Like kind of that theme in the Full Metal Alchemist where all is one and one is all. Yeah, that kind of shit.
No, I like that cop out, so I'll use it for number 2 also.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then The Home, I just love The Home. I think it's very Thoreauian. It's really fun. And then The Woods is, I think The Home is the better of the 3.
Okay.
But I think they're all, since they're so thematically connected.
I think The Woods is probably just the most memorable of them for me, personally.
Yeah.
The Sun is there too. But, well, I like you said, all 3 of these just kind of run together.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like that. Yeah, that's where mine is at. If we're right there.
Yeah, that's what I would do. That's just me. I mean, you know, people say it's up there, but then I'm not a huge fan of Work All Day, but beyond that, yeah, I'd go with that.
Okay.
But I do want to talk about, they had, I found this EP a long time ago, and it's called, it's complicated being a wizard.
Okay.
And what it is, it's only like 20 or 30 minutes, but it kind of reminds me of, it still has that psychedelic feel, but it's more, have you ever heard of, a band called Ugly Casanova?
No.
So Ugly Casanova was a side project from, Moon in Antarctica, who did, Modest Mouse.
Modest Mouse, right.
And it kind of has that feel. It's kind of like a darker tone. I wouldn't say quite industrial, but it has like themes of industrial in it.
Okay.
And what they do is like all the songs are basic. There's like black magic, amber magic. I think amber magic's my favorite. There's like crystal magic and like wizard shit. But it is really, really neat and very, very cool. I think for me, that's my favorite album they've ever done. Okay. And it's very quiet, but it's very weird.
Yeah, I don't know if I don't think I've ever heard that. So I'll have to fucking look it up and, see where it's at. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, cause I know it's not on Spotify for sure.
No,
cause I've looked through it on Spotify. I don't see it like on Pandora, like any of the music listening services. Yeah. I tried to find it. So I don't know if it was maybe like an independently produced and like an independent record label did it. And then like kind of like how Tool was, that they were like, you know what I mean? They just got on Spotify not too long ago because their old record label, when they were in court for so long. But I think it was one of those where
it's totally possible. Yeah.
Where it didn't come out on all this because it's through a smaller record.
No, I'll see what I can do. I'll see if I can find it because I've never heard of that.
Yeah. That one's my favorite for sure. It's so weird and
okay.
And I don't know, it has a lot of weird sounds to it. And they play a lot with like the oh god, what's the word? Just their sounds and things like that. A lot of synth and stuff like that, and really dark and strange. But they all like, what they meant for it to be was one giant track. Okay. So it's like 30-minute, one long set piece. You know what I mean?
Right,
it's kind of talking that I think it's like a concept album.
So kind of in the vein of like a Pink Floyd album or something like that.
Yeah. Where it does happen to break up into songs.
Right.
But I think in fact
they intend you to listen to it as
a collective. Right. As one collective thing. Yeah.
Yeah, we've run across that a couple of times.
Well, I mean with like Tommy.
Yeah. That's fucking exactly. Yeah. Read my fucking mind. Except that album's not as
garbage.
Garbage.
Garbage. I get that it's a big thing musically. It's kind of like what Ryan said, like I can appreciate it for what it did for music, but that doesn't mean I have to fucking like it.
But Uncle Techie.
What was his creepy uncle?
I don't even remember.
I don't remember. It was like Twiddle About. Twiddle Around or whatever.
Yeah, that was fucking alright.
Yeah, and then he comes back, and then Tommy's just a piece of shit. Ugh, And then the weird fucking cousin that would throw him down the stairs. That shit. Yeah. and they don't take him to a fucking hospital when he's sick, dude. I'm still fucking pissed at that. Who the fuck? You take him to a goddamn hooker? A fucking acid-selling hooker? Instead of going to a fucking hospital?
Yeah.
That's some Tiger King shit, dude. What the fuck?
Oh, dude, the Who was Tiger King before it was cool.
Without the tigers.
Well, you don't know.
No, you're right. I don't know. I can't. I can either confirm or deny. But fuck that, dude. That's bull. Fuck
Yeah.
Tommy, dude. That fucking album sucked.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
Ugh.
All right, so number one.
That's what I was saying. That those three songs are going to comprise my 2 and 1. Because since there are 3 songs, I'm going to condense them into 2 and 1.
Yeah. I'm gonna say People Say.
People Say.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
I think it's a good. It doesn't show a lot of their like the psychedelic side.
No,
But it's a good straightforward song. You know what I mean?
yeah, and it doesn't show off a lot of what Portugal is and can do.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, it's just a good, straightforward song.
Yeah.
It's just a good fucking song.
Yeah, and you know, honestly, we didn't talk about this too much, but this is one of those bands, like, I heard them, you know, 2007, 2006, 2007, something like that, and every album they put out, I completely loved, and I hated that it would, like, drive me crazy that they weren't popular.
Oh, right.
You know what I mean? Like, I was like, these guys need to be, like, on the radio. These guys need to be heard of. Like, people need to know this band. And then cut to, 3 years ago?
Something like that, yeah, where they had that real popular song.
That Feel It Still.
Yeah.
I remember the moment where I was driving to work and I heard this song. I was like, ooh, that's neat. And
Yeah.
it was like on the independent radio station.
I did the same thing.
And I was like,
yeah.
fucking Portugal, the man.
Yeah.
Finally. Yes. Thank you. Yes. Thank you. Oh my God. Thank God you made it. I'm so happy for you guys. That's awesome.
Yeah, no,
yes.
I don't remember cause it wasn't the radio, but I must have had it on like Pandora or like just shuffling something, or maybe I fucking heard it in like a fucking restaurant or something like that,
Mhm.
you know? And I was like, oh, this is really fucking catchy. I like this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is, yeah. And then I heard it again, and I was like, and it came on one of my streaming services or some shit, and I was like, this is Portugal? What the fuck? Like,
This is Portugal.
so yeah. So yeah, I don't know. Like, that comes off the album Woodstock, and I'm not familiar with it.
Yeah, I hate to say it because I was so happy for him. I didn't listen to it. I don't listen to the album. I don't know.
Coincidentally, they have a song on that album called Easy Tiger. Since we were talking about tigers,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's any good.
Full circle, I guess.
But, yeah. I don't know, like, fucking, I also, like, just looking through their albums and looking at track lists and stuff, man, Evil Friends is a good album too. That's the album that they have Creep in a T-Shirt, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
They have, Holy Roller, Purple, Yellow, Red, and Blue, Atomic Man, Modern Jesus. It's a really good album.
So if you look at all of their stuff, can you, let's say we do a top 3 all day of all their stuff that you like songs. What can you come up with there?
That's a lot harder.
That's a lot harder. I have to say for sure, probably my number 3 for sure would have to be My Mind, which is from Church Now. And because it's so like,
yeah,
it's so like depressing and like, like it's so good. I like it still has that feel,
man,
like that Portugal feel, but it's darker, and I loved it.
that shit makes that, I don't know if I can do a top 3 Portugal, like, oops, my bad. You might have just heard a clip from a song. Yeah.
Don't know why we're creating.
I didn't mean to hit that, but whatever.
It's fine.
Oh man, a top 3 all Portugal. People say it's probably in there. Just the fact that it's like the first song that I super resonated with and learned how to play, so that's probably in there.
Yeah.
It's gotta be something on Censored Colors, cause might be my favorite album.
Oh dude, Sit Back and Dream.
Sit Back and Dream is good, but I really fucking like Lay Me Back Down.
Lay Me Back Down, yeah.
I really like 1989. I know it's not one of your favorites, but
I'd always sing it to you because you were born in 89 when we played golf after the bar and stuff.
Right, so for that reason, that's why it's probably there. And then probably something like, something off of Evil Friends too, because man, like, Purple, Yellow, Red, and Blue it's a really good song.
Yeah.
So is Creep in a T-shirt, man. Creep in a T-shirt's, dude, good shit.
Yeah.
It's probably between those also in my top 3. And I know I listed 4 songs there, but fuck it. This is my podcast and I can do whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah. Oh, Lord's also a good one from Churchmouth, as well as, I have to say, from their first album, the Waiter You Vultures, it hit me when I was in my emo phase, man.
Okay.
And that album is one of those top tier, like, hard to fucking beat for me.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just not familiar with it.
It doesn't hold up to their newer stuff.
I think I've listened to that album because there was a time when I first got into Portugal that it was before their Woodstock album came out. So this must have been, which was 2017, according to Spotify.
Yeah.
So this must have been when I was in college. So it's probably before even Evil Friends comes out because that's 2013 and I graduated in 12.
Yeah.
So, but when you got me into Portugal, I sat down and fucking listened to their entire discography up to that point.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I missed the Wizard EP because I don't think that was available anywhere.
Yeah, no, I know for damn sure.
And then
I talked to everybody that I know listens to them has never heard it. I was like, I only have it on a CD that I happen to. I think I was in Austin visiting a friend, and when I go there, I usually go to that record store, Waterloo.
Okay.
And I went in there and I saw it, and I was like, what the? I've never heard of this. So I picked it up. Man, I was driving back home. I was like, this is fucking badass.
Yeah, and then they have an acoustic album that's just like other songs that just a bunch of their collection of their songs. That's the Majesty album.
Yeah.
I was just looking at the Spotify.
Yeah, that's why I didn't bring that one up because I know it's.
Yeah, it's just a collection of their songs. It's all just acoustics.
Yeah.
So it's their unplugged album.
Mm-hmm.
And fine.
Like, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah,
it's not terrible.
Those have gotten interspersed with other listenings of Portugal, but whatever. Rock is rock. I like rock and the acoustic stuff is fine, but like Eric Clapton's unplugged album is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
But I really like, it's hard to beat a lot of those songs in their electric form.
For sure. Like Layla. I like Layla. We're gonna fight.
I actually like the acoustic version of Layla better.
Oh, I don't. It's good, but it's not.
Don't get me wrong, that iconic Layla riff. Like, alright.
Layla.
Yeah.
Like the whole, man, that whole vibe.
But that being said, I could do without the entire piano outro that's like an extra 6 goddamn minutes, or it's probably not that long. It's like 2 minutes.
I think I've only heard the radio edit, so I don't know.
Yeah, no, there's this whole it sounds like, okay, so you remember when Yin Ching was a thing?
Yeah.
Okay. This is gonna be super localized,
catchy,
inside. But we used to have this Chinese restaurant.
That was bomb. They had the best
Mongolian beef.
Goddamn right for
but I don't know if you ever sat in there and ate and listened to the music they played, but it was like fucking piano elevator music. It was all the time.
It was piano covers of like popular songs. Like, I mean, I feel like that's a trope in a lot of Asian restaurants where like they play like popular songs.
Maybe so, but that's where I was introduced to it.
Uh-huh.
And at the end of Layla.
Yeah.
That happens.
Oh.
It's all instrumental.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly. Maybe it's not. Maybe there's some lyrics in there, but I don't fucking know because I always cut the song off. Cause it's like an extra like minute or two of just like this piano outro, and like a lot of people love it.
Yeah.
Love that song specifically for that. And I don't. And so for me, that kills fucking that version of the song. So the radio edit, I'll give it to you.
Okay.
But the full length, the full fat with that fucking piano outro, don't get me wrong, it's super pretty.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous. And the first time you hear it, you're like, oh, this is amazing. But after the
fucking, the song that is Layla.
Yeah.
And this happened. What the fuck?
Like, okay. So but also in the acoustic version, man, that acoustic solo that he does is just, it's so good. Just chef kiss.
Yeah, for sure.
The intro solo that he does and then the solo that he does, and it's all acoustic, and he changes up the way he plays it because it's acoustic. So he's not in the higher register, and it's just really good. And
I like that it was a cool take on that because it was slowed down and kind of like mellowed out. I dig that, but nah, man, give me the raw.
No, and for the most part, when it comes to acoustic versus like the full rock version of songs, I'm with you.
Mm.
For some reason, that acoustic version resonates. It just resonates with me a lot better. Maybe just because the full electric version is just overplayed. That could be it. Like,
you've heard that so many times as opposed to the live one?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Just
actual listens to?
Yeah, that might be it.
Okay, well.
But anyway. Since we're on tangents.
Yeah.
Have you listened through, Josh Edwards' Happiness Guaranteed playlist that he put together based on his Facebook poll?
No, I haven't, but I saw it and I think I was in the middle of Animal Crossing. I was fucking scrolling through while I was playing Animal Crossing and I haven't.
It's an interesting playlist. There's some straight fire and there's some straight not fire.
We can do an episode on that.
We could. There's a lot to it.
Oh yeah?
There's a lot of songs.
Okay.
But Queen makes a couple of appearances. I like Big Butts is on there. Or Baby Got Back is the name of the song, because of course it is.
Yeah, why not? It's a fucking feel good song.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
How are you gonna be pissed off and like, how are you gonna be mad when you hear that song? Are you gonna be
you're not.
You know what I mean? Like,
I was very pleasantly surprised. I listened to that playlist, the other day driving back from one of our sites to San Angelo, the day before I drove down here. And, so I listened to that whole playlist and I was like, all right, this is mostly fucking fire. Like, it's a lot of old shit because
nostalgia.
Well, nostalgia and like the general age group of the people that contributed are in their 30s and 40s.
For sure.
Right. You know, it's our age group and
older, a little bit.
Yeah. Well, cause I think Josh is around our age, maybe a few years older.
I think he's a bit older, but anyway.
Well, he went to seminary with Tyler, right?
I don't know. I'm not gonna.
I think. Anyway.
I don't want to get
anyway, I don't know.
I don't want to piece this fucking puzzle together.
Anyway, although
Josh Edwards is one of the coolest fucking people.
He is probably, he's probably the most wholesome person I know.
Yeah.
Like, legitimately, purely wholesome person. And I don't know if he listens to this. If you do, I love you. Like, the shit he put a post on Facebook, right around the time that the pandemic started, that was like, so yeah, first time ever I used all of the vacuum attachments in case somebody comes to visit next year. Dude, like, holy fuck, dude, I died laughing. Like, top tier. I fucking love that shit. And it's like, it's so wholesome.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I love that man. It just cracks me the fuck up.
Yeah. I got a funny story about him. When we were, 2 years ago, when we were leaving, Louisville after the expo, I was sitting at the airport waiting for my plane. And, as I'm sitting there, Mitch and Sean show up. And we're like charging our phones and like playing on our switches and just bullshitting.
Yeah.
And the next thing I know, here comes Josh rolling through. And I mean, this was a whole weekend of just drinking heavily and acting up and staying up late. And Josh just pops in all happy as could be. He goes, "Hey guys, you want to get a drink while we're waiting for our planes?" And like Sean and I just look at each other like, okay. Yeah, I guess. Okay, let's do this. And so we're sitting at this little restaurant next to our, between like our gates. And, we all order a drink. I get a beer, Josh gets a beer, Mitch gets a double Jack and Coke, and Sean gets one too. And as the waitress was like taking our order, Sean goes, "I want a double Jack and Coke and the tallest glass of water you could possibly bring me, the tallest glass of water, please and thank you." So we sat there for like 10 minutes just bullshitting before she came back with our drinks. So she drops all the drinks down and fucks off. And Sean immediately looks at his drink and goes, "Oh, great. I'm glad I had this double Jack and Coke that I didn't need and didn't get the water that I absolutely fucking need right now." Yeah, man. Yep. Oh, dude. I don't know. It's good shit. Anyway. Anyway, tangents. Yeah. But, yeah, Josh is a good dude. Love Josh.
Yeah, we should.
He's always a delight.
We should, absolutely at least talk about that playlist. Give it a listen.
I will.
I think there will be some stuff that you fully expect, and I think there will be some things on there that just kind of like throw you off. Like, what? Like, there was definitely a song on there that I had never fucking heard before by an artist that I had never fucking heard of, and just really threw me for a loop. I was like, okay, somebody's either trolling. I mean, it's a super happy song, but no, fucking way out of left field from what I expected to be here.
Oh shit.
So there's a couple of those, and anyway, I high praise for even putting that together.
That's freaking cool. Yeah, that's cool, you man. All right, anyway, I got one quick thing about Portugal, really quick. So they're originally from Alaska, but they moved to Washington. And really fun thing about this band is that a bunch of the guys were actually in a band before this.
Okay.
They were in an emo band called Anatomy of a Ghost, and
Sure.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think you've ever...
Nope,
I didn't think so. But, so a lot of these guys, like, John and I think Ryan and Zach? Yeah, no, John Gurley, the vocalist, the guitar player, he plays the organ, and then the bass player, Zach Carruthers.
Okay.
They were in Anatomy of a Ghost together, and they wanted to do this as a side project. And it just so happened that they just kind of got people in, and they just recorded, and then it bleeds back into having like rotating members all the time. I think that's cool, man, that they just, hey, fuck it, bring in another person, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like that this was a side project that got more successful, I think, than their original band.
Yeah, I do like, I think I said this earlier, but I do like this is something I didn't know before, but them having musicians rotate in and out. Mm-hmm. I think it keeps the drama down, and I think it keeps the creativity up. And, I think it's, there's probably a lot of bands that do that. But maybe not at the same success level, or maybe we just don't hear about it.
Yeah. I'm not sure of anybody that does that.
Not intentionally is the thing.
Okay, maybe. Yeah, that's true.
Like, and maybe they didn't do it intentionally.
Well, I know, like, the drummer on Satanic Satanist, he missed this album, but he came back for, like, the next two albums, and then he got out, and somebody else came in, and then I don't remember oh man, I didn't write her name down. The girl singer.
Oh, I don't know who that is, but like, I know the voice.
She's not very prominent, but she comes in, and I think she came in for like an album or two and then left and came back for another album or two. There's that kind of shit. So I really like this, and there is another artist that I know, that does this now, and that's, I brought it up earlier, Guns N' Roses Slash does this with his solo stuff now. Mm-hmm. He works a lot with Miles Kennedy. Okay. Who is the vocalist from, I believe, Maroon 5? That sounds right. No, Adam Levine's.
No, okay. Who's Miles Kennedy from?
I have no idea.
God damn it. You're right, Adam Levine's Maroon 5, but...
Yeah, I don't know that name, brother. Yeah, I don't know that name.
God damn it. Dude, now it's bothering me. Now I gotta look it up. But anyway, so he does work a lot with Miles Kennedy now, but I think that came up, out of, what Slash did with a couple of his, or at least one of his solo albums. Alter Bridge. That's where Miles Kennedy is from. Okay.
I don't know what that is.
He was the lead vocalist and one of the guitar players in Alter Bridge.
I never heard that.
I had to look this up. Alter Bridge is like I'm not super familiar with their stuff, so it makes sense that I didn't remember.
It didn't come up organically.
Right. But they do like metal and hard rock and stuff like that. Anyway, so Slash, when he started doing more of his recent solo stuff, cause after Guns N' Roses broke up, he did Snake Pit, and he did, Velvet Revolver, was one of his bands. Okay. And, so.
What was that shit? What were there? It made me think of, what was that drug that the drummer did from Metalocalypse? Snakes and Barrels was the name of his band, right?
Yeah, but he did like some weird like Amazonian rainforest
No. That was the one where they went.
Oh
there.
yeah.
That side band. It was like
I don't know, man.
Alabama Snake. poison or some shit like that. Like, oh, everybody goes
so yeah, but Slash's Snake Pit was one of his projects after Guns N' Roses.
Snakes and Barrels heard.
That's probably where they got the idea.
Oh, for sure.
But anyway, he put out a solo album, and most of the songs on that album are with different vocalists. So Miles Kennedy makes an appearance a couple of times, but he had Ozzy, he had fucking Fergie do a song on that album, and it's awesome, by the way. The song is really good. The music video is even better. Like,
we're gonna watch that as soon as we're done.
Yeah. It's really good.
Totally after
so that was something that I thought was really cool. And so you bringing that up, that Portugal does this, was like, oh, alright, so this definitely isn't like a new concept, but it was something that he pulled off really well.
Well, didn't Joe Satriani do the same thing?
Yeah, he does. He works with
a lot of like,
he works with a lot of different musicians also. And I'm not super familiar with a lot of his work. I'm very familiar with his album Surfing with the Alien, which is probably one of his most popular albums.
That's the one. The Silver Surfer looking.
Yeah.
The album.
The Joe Satriani album that everybody knows. Cause it's awesome.
Yeah,
it's amazing. So yeah, I think he does. I think there's a lot of guitar players that are like that are big names that once their bands break up, they do this kind of thing. Now that I think about it. But like Slash immediately comes to mind because I listened to that album a lot. And there's some really good stuff there.
Yeah. And I also think of, that album that, what's the lead singer of Zeppelin?
Robert Plant.
He did with Alison Krauss.
Yeah.
That is a fucking really good album.
Yeah.
That is I normally not kind of up my alley, but I happen to hear some excerpts on NPR.
Yeah.
When that was recorded. That was really fun.
Yeah.
That was a really fun one.
Yeah, that is a really good album. I'm not, super familiar with it, but I've heard a bunch of the songs in passing just because, Robert Plant.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
This is not stupid.
I've listened to, again, I'm not super familiar with, a lot of Jimmy Page's solo stuff, but I hear a lot of it in passing just because fucking Jimmy Page from Zeppelin,
for sure. But that's why, and on that kind of same page, we're working with artists. That's why I kind of I really like producers or like DJ Shadow.
Okay.
He does a lot of that kind of stuff where he collaborates with a bunch of people, on his albums. A guy who is a guy who's really, really prominent as a producer is, Dan the Automator.
Okay.
And he works with Mike Patton a lot, or both of the, white people in So How's Your Girl, Handsome Boy Modeling School, where they have just their beats, but they bring in all these artists to do different stuff and different stylings. On, A Day in the Life on White People from Handsome Boy Modeling School, that song has, Redman from Wu-Tang Clan.
Okay.
It's got, the lead singer from Mars Volta.
Okay.
And someone else. And somebody else. And another, I think, a rapper, I can't remember his name. But they have just all these weird lineups, or kind of like in the South Park album.
Yeah.
The Chef Aid album where they have all these different artists come together, the song with Ozzy Osbourne and Method Man, or not Method Man,
I don't know the rapper on
Ain't
that
Nowhere
one,
to Run. It was Oh Dirty Bastard, Method Man, and Prodigy. The guy from Prodigy, or Chemical Brothers.
Okay. Alright, whatever, yeah.
Just that weird, I love those kind of anthology albums where you get these artists who wouldn't normally work together coming together to do weird fucking shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So I really like the idea of it, and I think it does keep shit fresh for a lot of artists. Cause fuck man, Axl's great as a vocalist. He's a dirtbag person, but I think he's cleaned up his act a lot since the 70s.
Forever?
Yeah. But he also got fat, so whatever.
Kinda hungry.
Yeah. Whatever. But I don't know, you end up with bands that have fallings out and look at fucking Van Halen and bringing in Sammy Hagar when Eddie and Diamond Dave just had a fucking falling out, and like
Diamond Dave did a lot of good. He definitely deserved to get kicked the fuck out.
Yeah, and I mean, he definitely deserves a lot of credit, you know, with helping to write a lot of Van Halen's fucking greatest hits.
True.
But, and I know a lot of people are like, oh, Van Halen, not Van Hagar, you know, that old Joe Dirt joke.
That's literally a thing my dad used to say.
Yeah,
like before Joe Dirt.
Yeah, and I get it, but
he's like, I can't drive 55. Fuck that. We're listening to 84.
And I get that. Yeah. But there's some good shit that came out of that too.
I was never exposed to it, and I didn't quite look it up.
It doesn't matter. Like,
I'll take your word.
I mean, the gold standard Van Halen is with fucking David Lee Roth.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, let's be real. And both times that I've seen Van Halen, David Lee Roth was with him. And he's like the most in fucking shape, like 80,000-year-old man you've ever fucking seen.
I've seen cheerleaders at college games do worse than that motherfucker.
Yeah.
He can high kick like a son of a bitch. Okay, so like,
and I don't know how old he is, but he's about 1,000. Like, he's catching up to Moses at this point. Like, the dude's old.
Methuselah, wasn't he the sort of 990 fucking 9 or whatever the fuck.
But the dude is just like fucking still rocking 6-pack and abs and shit. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like,
some people cocaine brings you down. Cocaine fucking, it needs to be your vitamin fucking D or some shit.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
You either go Diamond Dave or you go fucking, Super Freak.
Yeah. So yeah, and I get that, but there's some good shit that came out of, you know.
Alright, so, before we move on from Van Halen, top 2 Van Halen songs.
Hey, okay. I mean, the cop out is Eruption. Because obviously, it's an instrumental.
Okay.
It's like basically just a guitar solo.
And it's just, it's Van Halen. Yeah. Well, yeah, you're a guitar.
Yeah. Man.
I'm gonna throw one out there. Are you ready?
Oh man, I'm
Hot for Teacher.
That's what you read my mind.
Hot for Teacher.
You read my mind.
That awesome fucking intro, dude.
That drum solo. Yeah. Yeah.
And then
like
the guitar
I said,
comes in. Oh
man, I was super hesitant, but yeah, you read my mind.
All right, number 2.
Well, no, Eruption.
Oh, okay. Mine. Well, that's okay.
I mean, Eruption's number 1. Hot for Teacher's number 2.
My number 2's got to be Running with the Devil.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good song. Yeah, and I mean, I'll probably catch flack for making Hot for Teacher even in my top 3, but whatever.
Fuck that, dude.
Fuck you.
That's a fucking...
It's a great
intro is
song.
awesome. Like
everything about it.
It's so like light and fun and like it's just so neat.
I you know,
even
I know
the video where they're doing like that doo-woppy dance shit. Like,
and you know, this might get some flack too, but I fucking loved cream in my coffee.
Oh god,
it's like up for breakfast, like, or early in the morning. I don't remember the name of the fucking song, but it's like, she put that cream in my coffee.
Yeah.
First thing in the morning. Oh, dude.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so good. And,
you know, when I had my car,
I love that poppy Van Halen shit. Like, I fuck it. Whatever, dude. Like, it's
Jump is too much. Jump is too much.
Oh, fuck you. It's good.
It's fine, but it's just too much for me. So when I used to have this, 96. My first car was the 96 Toyota Camry.
Okay.
White, just flat white.
Probably still runs.
No. When we traded,
you fucked that up?
When we traded it in, the dealer went, Mexico didn't even want that car. That was Bobby Hopkins.
I know exactly what you're talking about. That's exactly what he would say. Oh, god damn it. Oh, man.
I rode that motherfucker till the wheels fell off.
That's exactly what that man would say too.
I remember, dude. Anyway, I had two tapes in my car.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I had the fucking thing that went in the tape player to my CD player.
Yeah.
But I had 2 physical tapes. I had Dennis Leary's Stand Up.
Okay.
The one that had, I'm an asshole. That song at the end. And then I had 1984 Van Halen.
Okay. Yeah. Respectable.
Yeah, that's why I was like, oh, your favorites. I listen to Atomic Punk a lot.
Yeah. Okay. Well, fuck. I don't know, man.
So that's Portugal the Man.
Sure is.
Anyway, anything else you want to add, say?
Not really.
Okay.
More tangents, mostly.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but we're an hour. We can call it.
Yeah. So thanks for listening, everybody. We have enjoyed talking about Portugal and enjoyed being in person for the first time in like 6 goddamn months. So, we hope you like the show. You can find us wherever you get your podcasts. That would be like Spotify, iTunes, YouTube. Am I still posting that? I don't know. Nobody looks at YouTube for podcasts.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Stitcher, Spotify, and iTunes are the 3 platforms that we're on, to my knowledge. Haven't looked into it.
Anyway.
Never seen a review ever.
Karen, can you get on that? Thank you.
I've never actually seen a review come in for anything, so leave us a review and let me know when you leave it so I can check. That'd be cool. I don't think we've ever gotten a review. We do get an average of like 17 listens. So if you want to be number 18, that would be amazing.
Try to hit that 20 button, baby.
A few of them have gone over 20. A few episodes. Anyway, thanks for listening. Next time we're talking about who fucking knows. We know it's been a long time.
Rain Dog by the next album is going to be Rain Dog by Tom Waits.
Yeah, so we're getting back to the list. We may interject with another episode because we lost one.
We kind of fucked that up.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah. Anyway, long story. We lost one.
We'll have an episode. It'll surprise all of us.
Yeah. So yeah, let us know what you think about the show. Let us know what you think about us. What can we do better? What can we do worse? We know that recording could be better. We're working on it. Whatever. That's all we got.
Alright. Well, thanks guys. Appreciate it. And thanks for listening. Have a good day.
Bye. Bye.